Hello and welcome to another super simple beginners video. This one is called 5-minute fields, and I'm going to show you how to make a field out of materials that you will have lying around during the lockdown, so you won't need to go shopping and you'll be able to make yourself some really cool, interesting terrain for your gaming board. So let's point the camera down and let's get this done. What you see in front of you here are two bits of cardboard, and the only way they differ is that one is still assembled as part of a cardboard box, as it was, and this was actually corrugated packing that came in a delivery I had. So if you have some of this is the best stuff because it takes no time. You've got it already, it's here. However, if all you've got is some cardboard boxes that are corrugated, this is double corrugated, which is slightly different. But if you've got some corrugated card, all you need to do is take your knife and very carefully separate one side of it. So have a look, see which side you think maybe has the best corrugations, and peel it back like so. And you can use your knife to encourage it to separate. The good thing is that you don't really need to worry too much if you do any little bits of damage to the corrugation, because we're going to fix that later on. But what you're looking at doing is just taking that top layer off. So it doesn't take very long. This is taking longer than it normally does because the camera's rolling. But it's just got a little bit of paper glue in there holding it together. So there we are. Okay, that didn't take very long at all. Since starting this clip, it's been less than 3 minutes, so probably a couple of minutes. And as I say, that was a little bit more fiddly than it can sometimes be. You can clear out these little bits here using a more blunt instrument if you wish to, like the ends of these scissors or whatever. But ultimately, what you're looking for is that corrugation. So either you have corrugated packing material already, or you have a cardboard box, and you can get something that looks very much like that. So the next thing to do is to get yourself a base. Now, as it happens, I have a base here. We'll work with this one because the corrugated card looks like a bit cheating. So what I do here is I'm going to get some PVA glue and I'm going to stick this down to my base. Very simply done. Like that. Bit of PVA glue, spread it around, and stick it down to your base. Now obviously this doesn't have to be another piece of cardboard, it can be whatever you want. It could be in the garden of a house you have, who knows. And now what we're going to do is we're going to let that dry. So I'm going to weight it down, and I have various things that I use for weighting, but the most useful is just a 1 1/4 kilogram barbell. It's not so heavy that it squashes the cardboard, but it certainly is good enough that it holds it in place. So I'll leave that to dry probably for a couple of hours, and later I will show you the next and final step. This really is a very, very simple technique. It's slightly later on in the afternoon now, and this is now dried on. So I've just left it with that weight on it, and now I'm going to do the final step. And you can go past this obviously by adding crops or what have you, but this is what you need to do to make this blend into the rest of your base. So this is some terrain paint that I've made. It's a slightly different colour to what I normally use, but it basically is a mix of paint, PVA and water. And there is a link in the description below to a video that shows you how to go about making this. And all we do here is we take our paint and paint it on. And take the terrain paint mix, paint it on like so. Paint on quite thick, so quite a thick covering, and you will want to have newspaper underneath because this is a bit of a messy process. So you paint it on in small sections, not a lot at a time. And at the back we've got a bucket, and in the bucket is my sifted sand. And what we do is we sprinkle the sifted sand over the top. And we do this all over the ridges and over the surrounding area. And then, in a very short order, just as quick as that, you can empty that off. And what you'll see is that that has adhered. So we will paint the rest of it on now, and then we'll leave that to dry again. And basically that's it done. What you can do is you can do another coating after this is dried of the paint colour, which will obviously bring that colour back. However, the colour of the paint does soak through the through the sand, and so this nice rich reddy brown that I've got here, which I like so much, that will actually show up a little bit through the sand once it dries, so it won't be quite so much sand coloured. But certainly if you want to get more of a rich colour, more of the colour of the paint that you're using to adhere your sand, then just go ahead, once this has been dried, go ahead and put a coating of the paint over the top again. It's not a bad idea to do that anyway, or potentially with maybe just neat PVA if you're happy with the colour, because that will also then help to seal the sand on and give it that kind of covering over the top, which does help. So you can see just how quick this technique is, and you end up with a nice little rutted area of field which looks great. It can have a hedge around the edge or a fence around the edge. You can put any extra kind of like crops, you can use static grass or whatever to dress it up, but ultimately that's up to you. That's the dressing of the field. This is how you make a field very, very quickly, and you can make it as big or as small as you want. Obviously this is just a tiny little scatter piece which will be useful in some of my games. So there we are. That is that. I'll add a picture at the end. I'll let this all dry, maybe do another coat of paint over it, but that's basically the whole process. There's nothing else to show you. There we are. And that is how you make a field very, very, very quickly that looks really nice on the tabletop. Well, there you have it. I hope you found that useful and maybe educational, and it'll encourage you potentially to get some fields made for your gaming boards. It's very, very simple to do, and it does look great. I will close off by saying, as traditional, don't forget to subscribe, and if you are subscribed, do ding that bell, because then YouTube will tell you whenever one of my videos goes live, though I can tell you that it's going to be Sundays, Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's when I do my videos. So thank you so much for watching, and please stay safe, stay well and stay healthy at this crazy time.